Did you get a notification?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I did just now.
All right.
Let me see. We got anybody coming in here yet? The people know we coming. Welcome to a special edition of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. Sixers have not had a game in a couple of days, but we are setting up for the playoffs. We know who we're playing in the playoffs, and we actually got an idea of what a couple other teams are going to be, who their matchups are going to be in the playoffs. So we kind of we spitballing a little bit about this whole situation. So, all right, Tim, you was making a point. You was asking about who's the most pressure on for these playoffs. So who do y'all think? I honestly think the most pressure is on Doc. I think the most pressure is on Doc to win.
Why you say that?
Because Doc has, even though he's had success in his career, he's also lost a lot of 3-1 leads. His team was up 3-1, was the higher seed. They lost last year. He lost the year before that 3-1 lead with the Clippers. And now he's supposed to have his team, and he Embiid and Harden, Embiid, a possible MVP candidate. It's up to Doc, and I think Doc did himself a disservice with some of the moves he's done, like his handling the Paul Reed situation and handling the media when they question him about certain situations. I think most pressure is on Doc for now.
Yeah, I agree. Doc and Harden, to me. So it was interesting. I was doing some homework on what went wrong with Doc Rivers over there in the Clippers, and I found out a couple interesting things. Paul George said that they never did any adjustments. He said that was their downfall. Whatever happened, no adjustments. And I just see that same pattern. What I don't like. We've been saying all them 25, 30-point leads we've been blowing with no adjustments. So I think Doc feeling the pressure too. So you asked me, the pressure's on Doc, and it's on Harden to perform better. He has to play better. Yeah, he played better his last game. He has to continue to play better, shoot the ball better. But I don't know if Harden's downfalls have a direct link to do with Doc Rivers and what he's asking Harden to do as far as his style of play. So it'll shake itself out at the end of the year. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah, they was pulling up a lot of stats on James Harden, and it wasn't favorable at all. They had him. Richard was making jokes. Jalen Rose, he said his shooting percentage looked like concert dates. Like it was like 3 for 15, 3 and 5. That's the shooting percentage, 3 and 15, 4 and 12, like 5 and like 13. It's like he has so many bad shooting nights in the playoffs. They said he doesn't show up. One they said was a game 7, and he had a 2 for 13 shooting. Mm-hmm. So to me now I'm thinking, is what we're seeing, is that really who he is? So can we blame Doc if he has a history? So I'm a little nervous. I still said I'm around with the Sixers, but I'm a little nervous. But I do think the pressure's on Harden. This is the second team that he decided to he ran away from Houston. He ran away from Brooklyn within a year. So the pressure's on him.
I mean, I do think it's some pressure on Harden, but I think the most pressure has to be on Doc. It has to be. He came to this situation. Remember the whole thing, even about the whole Ben Simmons situation. We had some people in here that said because of how Doc handled Ben, that's what caused Ben to go to this whole thing that he went through and everything else, Timothy. So when you want to put all that blame on Doc with that stuff now, like, let's keep it a bean. We also have to, like, when we looking at Doc, we look at how Doc handled the whole Tyrese Maxey situation last year. If he'd have played Maxey more earlier in the season, maybe you couldn't be more comfortable playing him in the playoffs. And Doc is going to be under fire about this Paul Reed situation, because I know at least a couple of us have been yelling for Paul Reed to get more burn to see what he's doing. Then when you see Paul Reed get in there and all of a sudden Paul Reed doing a little something, and then when they're asking Doc about it, he's getting defensive to him. Oh, this isn't the Paul Reed such and such tour. Like, you know what I mean? He's snappy. Yeah, it ain't his victory tour. Like Doc putting himself, like he looking like he falling under the stress a little bit. So, we'll see. And Ethan's also always point out how Doc takes little shots sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like he feel like Doc throw the players under the bus a little bit, and he do kinda a little bit.
I got to address Mark Greenville. He's made a couple false statements over
Yeah, what Mark talking a lot of you being real greasy right now.
First of all, that's wrong. You can ask Wayne and them. I wanted Maxey to take all Ben minutes. Wayne will tell you.
He did.
Last year in the playoffs, I wanted Maxey to play. Remember, Maxey's the reason why there was a game 7. If it wasn't for Maxey playing game 6, it wouldn't be in game 7. And that happened because Ben got in foul trouble. And game 7, Doc again, no adjustments. You know Ben struggling, but no, Doc, don't go back to Maxey. So I wanted Maxey to play last year. We always had this discussion, me, Wayne, and Tim, about Maxey being better than Ben Simmons. Wayne can attest to that.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he was better than Ben though.
Okay, but I think to be honest with you, game 1's huge. We have to win. You ask me, we have to win game 1. I don't think it's a question. We have to win it.
I agree.
I don't, but
we gotta
win.
Because if you remember,
listen, you don't go into a playoff series saying game 1 is a must win
for this team.
No, it's not.
Because think about it. If you lose this game,
Toronto,
now you don't have Bible in games 3 and 4, so you won't have one of your
best if you lose this game, then you got 6 more to play.
That's how we lost. Guess what? We lost game.
That's how we lost what? That's how we lost what? We lost game 1 last year, and then we had a 3-1 lead.
But we still lost game 1 Atlanta series. That game that
right, and then didn't we have a 3-1 lead that we blew?
Well, if we won game 1, it would have been 4-1. We wouldn't have to worry about blowing the lead.
Yeah, it would have been over. Then
man, stop. No, we just would have had 3-0 and Doc would have lost that lead.
Exactly, D-Market. we lose game 1, it's over. I'm telling you, we lose game 1, it's over.
Listen, if we lose game 1 and then we win this series, I don't want none of y'all back in here for the second round.
You're right.
Going chicken littles. Like, God dang, we didn't even start playing the series. Oh, we lose game 1, it's over. Like, come on. All right, let me ask you this. If the Nets lose game 1 to the Celtics, are y'all saying that series is over?
I don't care about that series.
No, I'm asking for a reason because we're not looking at any other series. Any of these other series, are you looking at it like if Miami lose game 1, it's over? If such a lose game 1, it's over. We're not looking at no other series like that. But because it's our team and y'all scared,
because
you looking at it like
they got athletes on that team that we don't have.
What'd you say?
They got bona fide athletes on that team that we don't have. Like we always got to play a perfect series.
Who the bona fide athletes Miami got that we don't have?
Not Miami. I'm talking about Toronto.
So you telling me if
you know that we're nowhere near.
They also don't have a big man. Well, listen, I think Paul Reed is going to make a difference in that series. And I think this is why Doc has to stick to his word where he said if it's the smaller lineups, Paul Reed is going to play in that 5 position because DeAndre Jordan can't keep up with them young guys ripping and running around. It's not like he's using his size to rip rebounds and get blocks. You see when Paul Reed goes in there, if nothing else, he might be hacking, but he's playing defense and he does something dumb every once in a while, but he's in there and he's hustling. He's fighting for boards every time. And you're not getting that from DeAndre Jordan.
Listen, I might be going a little too far saying we lose game 1, it's over. But
that's all I wanted. I just wanted to reel it in a little bit. That's
Toronto,
all.
Toronto is very confident. I don't like how confident they are. They actually wanted to play us. I don't like that. That's why I wanted to win their last game because I wanted to smack them on the mouth and show them we're not the team you want to play. But we'll have to do that in the playoffs. We'll have to knock them out the playoffs.
So you think if we win game 1, Toronto going to be shook and feel like they ain't got no hope?
Now, no, we ain't worried about them talking about how the way we are. Can we beat them in a 7-game series? I do think so, but we have to get games 1 and 2 in Philadelphia. We got to take care of the home court. We have to.
Sixers was a better road team this year than home team.
Doesn't matter. We still didn't.
Why don't it matter? Why don't it matter?
We didn't win enough road games to get home field throughout the playoffs.
But we've had a better road record than home record. Why don't it matter? Because it was the regular season, right? But you want to count the regular season against Toronto, and now you're scared about that.
So you say you rather be on the road right now? Then that's what you say.
No, I wouldn't. But I'm not pressed.
So I am.
That's why it's a 7-game series, bro.
I agree with that, Nicholas. I always say that. Usually, the team with the best player will win. I agree with that. And B should be the best player on the floor between both games, unless Siakam has an incredible series like he had that last game. That last game, what did he have, a triple-double?
He had 36 points, and he really did have a triple-double.
Yeah, he had a triple-double.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I think the big problem is the Sixers get these big leads, and I think they lose them because then when they go to the bench, is nobody getting rebounds. Before, when we had DeAndre Jordan, he would, if nothing else, he was in there fighting for rebounds and everything else, and they kept stuff in control.
Like you don't.
Toronto, in every game we played them this year, we've shot better. We shot better from three. I think the only thing that they've really done better than us was rebounds. And they killed us on the rebounds. And a lot of that to me comes in with when the bench comes into play, we have nobody getting rebounds. That's why I'm bent on Paul Reed getting minutes and getting in there and jumping around with those other athletes.
So it's going to be really up to Doc if he's going to actually play him, though, right?
Yeah, he got to stick to his word.
And Mastercraft, we got to put it all on B. It's his team. So we only go as far as Embiid takes us. So
yeah.
Why Joel's been here for 5-6 years now, and he hasn't been out the second round of the playoffs. He hasn't elevated his team. Now, all of it hasn't been his fault, but as the superstar of a team, you're going to be judged based on how far you can take your team. And so far, he hasn't done it. So there's a lot of pressure. There is pressure on him.
It is pressure. It is pressure. He's starting to get looked at. Remember how Wayne used to look at Giannis? How he never elevated his team. If Embiid doesn't get out the second round, he'll start being looked at like that. So I agree.
Yeah,
it's a must. We got out the second round. I think getting out the second round is a lot of weight on if this team and coaching staff stay together.
But see, to me, a lot of that too goes to if the player underperforms in the playoffs too. If that's just like the whole reason why James Harden get ripped is because not just because his team loses, but because his team loses and his numbers drop. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just like the years when LeBron, like if he ended up losing in the championship, you can't blame him if he's still putting up like 30-10 and 30-10 and 8. You can't say LeBron is the reason we lost. You know what I'm saying? That the other guys didn't do their job. So, but that being said, Embiid needs to be scoring at least his season average. He should be scoring more. I'm looking at Embiid need to be scoring like 35 points at least.
30 not going to do it. 30 is
not. Why not?
Nicholas, good point. Nicholas said, do I think Embiid going to the bench like regular season? As far I think he won't. And that, listen, can Embiid play 40 minutes, 38, 39 minutes a game, every playoffs, every series?
Yes.
Can he?
Yeah. I think so.
And he's gonna have
I think that can wear Embiid down, and that can be a reason why we don't go far.
Well, I'd like to give it a shot. Let's give it a shot.
Well, I mean, really doesn't the playoff roster trim down? Remember this is what Embiid problem was. This when he took his little shot at Doc when we played the Bucks, and he was like he wanted to be in the game. If the other stars in the game, leave him in the game. Like he felt like because he was on the bench and Giannis was in the game, that's how it got out of hand. So, and I ain't mad at him. I want him to be like it. Listen, he's gonna have a whole week off, but for these first couple games, and then he's gonna have like nights off in between. And B should come in there fresh, ready to go and dominate.
Listen, it sounds good, but it's you know it's a lot. You know what happens when the B start playing a lot of minutes. I don't want to say he starts getting fatigued, but we know he can wear it down. It's not like we haven't seen it.
So they averaging 34 points. He's averaging 34 minutes a game right now. Around that. So you don't think he can up it to 39, 40 minutes?
Through 3 rounds.
But see, you're saying I get what you're saying and saying through 3 rounds. But guess what? You don't think that KD and Kyrie is going to be playing minutes like that
every night?
That's what I'm saying. The other stars is going what?
Yeah, but but B ain't. First of all, B's not them. Remember KD seemed like he wore down. Remember last year when he played like the whole game? And it seemed like it took effect on him. So, yeah, it can take effect on him if they play too many minutes. Yeah.
But guess what? Giannis looked like he was wearing down at a certain point, too. And then remember, he ended up sitting a couple games out because of injury.
But you know what?
Everybody gets worn down.
You know what they have that we don't?
What?
Depth.
But you're saying depth. What depth? Who you saying got depth? The Nets?
No, like you said, Giannis. Nets have more depth than we do, too.
Nah, I don't think so.
Out of every team in the playoffs, we probably has the least depth. To be honest,
I mean,
that is why we traded Harden. But right now, do you trust Harden to be the second option to give him that help? Because I just don't right now.
Man, listen, you got Harden, you got Maxey. Maxey can put up. I just need I need 3 of the 4 to be in the 20s, or at least if B's scoring 40, then I need, or 35 or 40, then I need somebody else to be like at the 22, 23, and the other ones could be at like 17, 18 of them starters like that. That's the balance that has to be there. But somebody, you're going to need at least one other person scoring big with Embiid every night.
What's the rotation? What's Niang's status? Was that a real injury or was that just a rest injury?
Well, I read something today. He did an interview. He said if it was the playoffs, he would have played. Right. But he said because of the situation, he got a chance to have two games off. So she said he'd be ready to go by Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I get it. I get but I'm not worried about, because guess what? If Embiid plays 40 minutes a game and we sweep him, then he gets the rest a couple days anyway. So so just come out there, play to win.
If he played 40 minutes in a game, we go 7, and we right back in the next, playing the next game.
The only thing you worry about the round you win, and then you see what happened when you get there. So you see what you take care of the next round when you get to the next round.
So what's the keys to beating the Raptors in a 7-game series? Like what is the key? How can we? So we're not gonna be scared. We're gonna actually strategize. How can we beat this team?
I think I don't know. Some Van Fleet's playing, right?
He's playing, yeah.
I've seen some votes, and was his defense spectacular this year? Because is he on an all defensive team? Is it me? I've seen some people voting for Van Fleet for all defensive team.
I didn't see nothing like that. I don't know.
You got to find favorable matchups. You have to. I know when they were playing last, Tobias struggles with this team. So making him go one on one and dribble, trying to get a shot, I don't think that's the move. So to me, Tobias doesn't move good without the ball either. You really got to get rid of him next year. He's really one-dimensional. So I
think that's the whole reason that they're trying to get everybody to just spot up shoot. That's what they want Tobias to do, catch and shoot.
Because with the way Embiid plays, there's no room for another person to sit there and have the ball in their hand and create for themselves. Especially with Harden. If you got Harden creating for himself and Embiid, you need catch and shoot type players on your roster.
But back to the key. The key to this series to me is Maxey. Key is Tyrese Maxey. Actually, to me, I think he's the key to this whole playoffs, man. You got to figure out. You got to keep him involved in the game. To me, it seems there's too many stretches where he doesn't shoot. Even remember the last game he was hot and he took like 2 shots after half. You cannot let that happen.
But I think that's on him. I think that's him.
Maxey it ain't on him. It's on the coach. If you know this guy's hot, you got to run a play for him.
It's multiple times. This is the only thing I say about Maxey. I've seen too many times where somebody else got to tell Maxey to get going. I've seen like where B saying, go, that's on you. I seen when Harden say, you need to bring it to second half. I seen AI tell him, go, this you do it. That's my only issue with Maxey is I think that it might be about his humility or whatever else, but I think at time, but when he starts feeling it and he's bouncing around and doing that, I need to see that kind of Maxey more often. I think Maxey sometimes feels like, I don't know, maybe sometimes he feel like he's shooting too much or whatever else. But if he's cooking, I want him to be like some of these other young guys you see if they hot a little bit, they gonna do what they gonna do. And I think some of that might be Doc. I think Doc might got it in his mind. Doc might have messed him up with all that, the way he was yo-yoing him around last year.
I don't think Harden's the key to me, Carl. Harden can be the key because Harden being aggressive in the playoffs was never good because he doesn't go to the line like he should. He turns the ball over a lot in the playoffs because they're not giving him those calls. They're not giving him those calls. Harden has to hit his open 3. He has to hit his step back. He has to and he has to make the game easier for B. But as far as being aggressive, I think that got to be Maxey. He's playing at his numbers are historical. You see it shooting 3-point percentage and field goal.
What's historical about it?
You see how high it is. His jump from one year to the next.
It was
Okay.
great. I'm not gonna put it all on Maxey. Max, because if you look at it, like the young boy Scotty Barnes, they got a rookie to start, and he does a lot of great things for their team. He don't play like a rookie, but all the pressure's not on him. And I don't think we should put all that pressure on Maxey. The pressure I'm putting on more so I'm going to put it on Embiid. He got to average about 37, 38 points a game a night in the series.
I mean, the only way if they triple team and then he's passing it out, those guys have to hit their shots.
Yeah. But he got to
Jamar. I'm not putting pressure on Harden to score. Be the point guard, set the team up, get everybody involved. But pressure for him, if we need him to get 30, 40, I don't think he could do it anymore. He hasn't showed it since he's been here. So let me change that. I don't put the pressure on Harden. I don't think Harden should have the pressure to score and carry the team like he was doing in Houston.
Oh, I definitely think he should have the pressure on him. That's why he's supposed to be the big time person coming in here.
Y'all just said he wasn't Houston Harden no more. Why now? Everybody told me he's not Houston Harden. So now you want Houston Harden?
I don't say he has to be Houston. I don't think he has to be Houston Harden, but he has to be Harden that could come in here and score average 22 to 23 points a game and 8 assists and 8 rebounds. That's the Harden that has to show up. At least.
We'll see. He can't turn the ball over 5 times either, 5 to 6 times a game either.
Neither can Embiid. They both have to take. They both.
I mean, the whole team has to. The whole team. I mean, honestly, that's the key to Toronto is not turning the ball over and at least fighting on the rebounds. Because when Toronto get those rebounds and they get out in the open court and run, and then they get those open 3-pointers out of all that. If the Sixers have to dictate the pace. And that means you're going to have to go to Embiid more down low. And I think that if they're looking at how Embiid came out against Indiana, he came out against Indiana and he made a concerted effort just jumping down in the post and moving around down in the post. I need him to come out this series like that. So NBA gonna get the Sixers to win anyway. I ain't want to say that because I don't want to hear people crying when they do it. But the NBA don't want Toronto in it. Toronto is trying to keep stars from playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You think the NBA going to want Kyrie to go against Toronto and Kyrie can't play? Or Jaylen Brown can't play in Toronto?
That's another strike on our depth. Depth. Am I saying that right? Somebody correct me. Because
Thibault.
Because Thibault ain't playing it.
Tim said that.
That's another strike against us.
It is. That's why I said that's why I told Wayne we gotta win games 1 and 2.
Yeah, we do have to win all home games.
Because you can't. There's no way in the world you're gonna go to be weaker
about that.
And the smaller bench. Speaking of which, like, how y'all feel about Thibault? Because he didn't get a lot of criticism, but he did get some criticism. Are y'all okay with him just saying, based off of the explanation provided?
Yes,
listen, I am. He is what he is. Everybody got to make their own decisions, and everybody got to live with whatever decisions everyone has to make. We're entitled to make our own decisions.
I think that's fair.
So we'll see. I forgot about that. Wow, that's huge.
Tim been saying that the whole program.
That's what I said.
Tim been saying Thibault like 5 times. He said Thibault like 5 times this whole time.
Because it felt like Van Fleet didn't play none of the games we played Toronto for some reason.
Yeah, so I'm hoping
he might have at least played one.
I think he played the first one, but Siakam didn't play the first one. So it was like now we're getting a full team. So now we got to go and beat a full team, athletic, long team. And so it's gonna come down to Tobias boxing out because Boucher was flying all over the place, especially when I think when Maxey was sticking him. Maxey couldn't do nothing with him. So they said the team said they've been talking about boxing out. They said offensive rebounding. Those are the point of emphasis that they was making the last couple of days. I don't know how it's going to be transition, how it's going to happen in the game, but they have been talking about it. They understand that is the issue for them.
I do got to say this about Thibault, though, because D. Marcus said that Thibault was a starter will have a problem, but as a role player, it's cool. That's good, but when your team is so strapped for depth, that's huge. I'll just say that. He's not a star player, but the way the Sixers are strapped for depth, that's huge.
Well, I do think Danny Green has been playing better the last
You
few
got to go
games.
deeper
So
than Danny Green. You might have to
no,
go Quirk.
Yeah.
It's all going.
Can Danny handle all the minutes?
It's going to come down to second. Danny gave us 18 points that first time when we played them last week. So it's not about the offense. It's about offensive rebounds. The rebound, they get a lot of second chance points.
Mhm.
We got to eliminate. That's what we got to limit. The second chance shots that they take.
You know what's funny is if Paul Reed actually gets some burn, the guy Boucher for Toronto was MVP of the G League too.
Oh,
and it's funny how they got him up here and got him playing all kind of minutes and everything else. But it takes Doc forever to try to put our G League MVP up in the game, and he's fighting tooth and nail.
I told y'all Doc old school. I kept saying this last year. I wanted Doc to I wanted Doc to play Maxey. Remember last year we kept talking about Doc playing Maxey. Remember Maxey went stretches without playing, and when you was talking about sending him down to G League for minutes. That was my problem with Doc last year. These old school coaches with this old school mentality about not playing their younger players, like they have to earn it. Yeah, I mean I agree with that, but it's a new era of basketball. You gotta understand these dudes been playing basketball since. Yes, they have to learn the game, but they've been playing basketball a lot longer than dudes back in like Jordan era. When Jordan era dudes started playing basketball when they got older. Now these dudes are playing basketball once they come out the womb. All leagues through their whole career, they playing leagues at 5, 6, 10, 11, all the way up until the NBA.
Toronto Bulls, they just started playing like 5, 6 years ago.
I mean, that's true, like Embiid. But you gotta play these guys, man. Doc, he kills me with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I'm saying Danny Green because Danny Green last 2 games, he scored 15 points and 18 points on 5 for 11 shooting and 6 for 9 shooting. And he also had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds and 3 assists. I'm not saying Danny Green's the savior, but that Danny Green, if we can get that type of play out of Danny Green, and that's why I'm interested to see what Harden do too, because was they just trying to coast? You know what I'm saying? Or are they going to take it to the next level? Like now, how sometimes old heads, it's like when they get to the playoffs, then all of a sudden they doing the extras and doing the extra running around and stuff like that. We'll see.
That coasting kills me. You're not coasting. I'm sorry. You superstars. They not coasting. I don't ever.
No, actually, star players coast a lot during the regular season.
You remember they do? You remember Jordan coasting? They don't coast. They just take games off.
No, they ain't just taking games off.
You don't coast during a game. You don't come in the game.
I told you, Clyde Drexler said years ago, the first half for show, the second half for dough. So he was saying in the first half, they going through the mode, they coasting playing, and then you tighten up and you step it up in the second half.
You're not coasting, you still learn the ball. That's how you get hurt. You're not. These dudes ain't. Oh, let me coast. Dudes that want to score and want and.
So how come most of the greater players' scoring numbers go up? In the playoffs.
Poston is missing all these threes. That's what Harden was missing threes.
It's not about missing the threes. It ain't about missing threes.
So
it ain't about missing threes, but it's about
he was getting the shot beat up. That was just part of his coach.
It's about being more aggressive and going. Didn't somebody say something about being aggressive?
Come on, man. Yo, this coach to stop.
Yo, did y'all see that?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what he do after the week off. We'll see.
Y'all see that interview Harden did this week with Complex? They had asked him. He said about pressure. He said, I don't have anything to prove. I don't feel any pressure. I don't feel any of that. For me, it's going out there and playing my game, trying to help my team win.
I hope he believes that. That's what I want him to believe.
He's trying to talk himself out of it.
Yeah,
I hope he believes that.
Listen, I hope once you walk in there in that stadium, it's an entirely different atmosphere when it's playoffs. We all know how it feels. So it's not just a regular game. It's not like it's a regular game. I ain't got No, it's not.
But 3 weeks ago, when Brooklyn came in here with that playoff atmosphere, we laid a serious egg. That's all.
Yes. Yep, that's what I'm concerned about.
And that's
the next game you're talking about.
All right, but all right, so that's just it. Anybody like the Sixers though to win this game?
I thought the Sixers win the first game, man. I got them win them. Listen, as much as I hate. Unless it's not hating on Harden because he's not playing well, I got him getting out this round.
All right.
I hope so.
I'm still rooting for him. Not 100%.
I think Embiid dominates and wears them down the longer the series goes.
All right.
So you know what, though? The crazy part is the dudes from it must be Nick Nurse because they're not big. And it seems like Embiid hasn't done what he wanted against him. like you would like.
You do
You know
know
what I
he
mean?
said that he said the team he didn't want to play was Toronto because they play them the best. He said that
Bede always hyping up his brethren.
his brother from the motherland.
Yeah. No, but I do think it's something to that what you're saying, Ethan. But I think a lot of that has to do with we talking about the zone. But that's why I think Harden is key because Harden is the guy that can get those passes through the zones. When we see Embiid and Harden run those pick and pops and pick and rolls, Harden makes those passes to get the beat the ball in there where he don't got to fight through them zones to get in there. But the difference is when they collapse on Embiid, the guys that's out there, Tobias is going to have open shot attempts. He's going to have to hit at least a 30 something percentile. Harden's going to have to hit his open ones, and Maxi's going to have to be aggressive and shoot it when he got it.
All right, so Boston, Brooklyn, this series, I'm looking forward to this one, and I can't pick him.
I got Boston. I actually got Boston going to the chip.
Whoa.
Boston and Phoenix.
So you picking Boston over Brooklyn in this series?
Yeah,
I guess you are.
But Boston, they deeper. They're gonna outlast Brooklyn.
I got Boston over Brooklyn, but I don't think Boston will beat the Bucks if they face them in the second round.
Boston got the defense and the offense. They the fact that y'all picking Boston, I don't have a problem with that. I'm going with Brooklyn because I think with Ben coming back, that gives them a
but by game three. Now Ben was supposed to play the play-in. Now they're saying game 3, Ben should be back.
Boston has been playing the best basketball since the All-Star break, right?
Yeah, but the guy Williams got hurt. Their center got hurt.
Yeah, he'll be back second round or in this round.
Yeah, but even that's what I'm saying. Even if he comes back second round, he's coming back.
They don't need him
to get acclimated.
They don't need him. They don't got to get acclimated. He's been playing with him all year. He'd be all right. They don't need him this round.
You don't think a person missing a couple weeks? You don't think a person missing a couple weeks got to get back in NBA basketball shape?
No, not a couple weeks.
Okay,
He not Ben Simmons.
What's hurt on him? Is it his legs? Because if it's legs, you got to get that.
Be fine. He will be fine. Yeah, I think listen, Boston's playing real good basketball, man. I didn't be honest with you. I didn't know how that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown was going to work, but they working it out, man.
The crazy thing is, if Boston and Phoenix end up in the NBA Finals, they'll have 2 of our assistant coaches that we decide to let go as their head coach.
Yeah, no, I have 2 dudes that both swear we should have drafted, like Tatum and Malik.
Oh yeah, how about Mikal Bridges?
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, how about that? That's crazy. But yeah, so I like.
Yeah, hey, not there. I agree. I don't know what's up. Yeah, Harden. He said Harden never attempts a mid range. I don't know why that is either. It's the only shots he shoots that seems like it's the mid range is that little line drive floater that he flicks up there. Like
he misses that a lot too, man. My goodness, Maxey floater money. Harden floater is if Harden's gonna get in the foul, I think it feels like he's gonna miss.
Harden floater. I mean,
feel good.
He actually hasn't been shooting a bad percentage from the floor from the threes he has.
Because Harden to me is he's so bent. He built his whole game around getting the foul, right? So it feels like he feels like he's playing to get the foul instead of make the basket, which is just bad to me.
Yeah,
it's just years of how he built his game. You know what I mean? Even with the step back 3, he probably so focused. All he practiced probably was a step back. That's why catch and shoot, it just seems so awkward. I think he shot an air ball like his last catch and shoot.
Yeah,
it's just very uncomfortable for him.
He shot an air ball with a couple of them step backs. Listen. Hopefully they better put that hamstring in the hyperbaric chamber and try to let him wind back a couple years, keep him away from all them strip clubs and everything. Hopefully he keeping himself right to be ready for this and come back fresh.
Why Maxey step back 3 better than his though?
It is
because he got them young legs.
Listen, Maxey game his 3-pointer. The way he's making it this year, hopefully he keeps it up in his playoffs.
We might have to put a little bit of pressure on Maxey. I don't want to, but we might have to put the pressure on him. Like, listen, you're the number 2 option, and then you just got to shoot the ball, gun, whatever you got to do. But you got to we counting on you. We might have to treat him like that. Be honest with you.
Look, and be honest with you, I want to see some good plays drawn up from Doc. You know, in crunch time. Uh, even if it ain't Embiid, I know a lot of times Embiid won the ball, but sometimes draw something up. You know, for somebody to get an open look.
Wait, who
Draw
said
something up
is
to
it in
get
truth?
easy plays out. What you say?
Nicholas Hill said word on the street is Durant is calling Ben out, and it's true to this. What I heard was
I heard that. I heard they're getting upset with him.
I heard that they actually been motivating him, like, yo, come on, like that he's
Yeah,
been walking around saying, all
Let me
right,
tell you something. Ben Simmons showed what kind of chump he was. You know what Ben Simmons should have did if he was a real man? Even if he was a scared man, what he should have done was come back when the Nets came back to Philly, because you had KD and Kyrie saying they was going to refuse to let you lose that game because they wanted to show you. Even when they won, they was like, yeah, everybody was talking that trash about them. They came in here like on Big Brother type time, and you sitting over there like a little punk, sitting there like the girl watching her boyfriend fight. You know what I'm saying? After she just started a fight. That's what Ben looked like. And now he's talking about he might come back game 3. Ironically enough, game 3 will be at home and not on the road in Boston.
There's a lot of rumors out there. It's actually a rumor. There's an article I read about. They said KD was done with Harden at the beginning of the season. He said when Harden came back, he was out of shape, and like he lost a step. Now I don't know how true that is. So it's a lot of stuff out there that I don't know. A lot of articles. Some could be just like
cat
grabs to get a like or get a look or whatever.
Yeah.
So
shout
I
out
don't
to
know
my watching on Facebook. our lone viewer on Facebook.
Ben hating, Mark hating again. It ain't Ben Love. That's my guy.
But it's crazy that my thing with Ben, I think, is about the money. I think if he plays, I think it's my opinion. I think he got some advice from the people around him that if he plays, he can ruin his chance to recoup that $20 million. Personally, you know what I mean? Because so it has to be some type of legitimacy behind him not playing.
That's a lot.
So he can be like, I got traded and I still ain't play. See, it had nothing to really do with that. You know, I was legit injured. I legit couldn't play, legit mentally, legit not ready. So, you know, it could be $20 million is a lot. That's $20 million is a lot. And
you know the only reason why I don't buy that though, because at first it was the mental. He didn't stick with the mental thing. He was supposed to be in a good space mentally, and then it was his back. So he switched up what was bothering him.
It was all rumors. We don't know what really happened.
No. They said they was holding him out because of his back. They said his back tightness. It was his back tightness, so he was holding out.
They said he got a hernia.
He's hoping that. See, I'm telling you what Ben's strategy is. This is why he said game 3. And if it ends up being a 1-1 game in that series, he's not coming back game 3. Ben Simmons is hoping that either the Nets are up 2-0, and then he could come in at home, and it's like they got a cushion, and it's everything him to get acclimated. Or even if they come in down 2-0, and then it's like, well, it wasn't Ben Simmons' reason. He wasn't the reason they lost because they already lost 2 games without him. Ben trying to hedge his bet so he don't get blamed.
I don't think he that deep.
Yeah,
listen, personally, I think he playing to me. Playing with Joel Embiid was easy for Ben. Playing with the Sixers was easy for Ben. Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they ain't gonna be that easy when Ben like, oh, he don't need to shoot. He don't.
That's what he's saying.
Trust me, they are not going to bite their tongue. If they might even say during the game, you might see a flare up during the game. Shoot the ball.
That's not how Kyrie is.
Shoot the ball.
That's
KD's the baller.
Kyrie is all about the love.
Huh?
Kyrie all about that's not Kyrie's personality.
KD expects the same thing out of everybody they expect out of self. Expect you to play ball.
Play hard. And they know what he's good for. He's good for defense. Like, they don't expect Drummond to shoot a bunch of
ain't KD the same one that checked Brown about what he said, his comments?
Yeah, Brown was out of pocket. He's talking
about
KD also the one that went also the one that told Draymond off after Draymond already won all them titles won the title without him and everything else. He got up in Draymond's face, give me the ball.
And Ben is gonna give him the ball. So he don't got no worries about him trying to shoot.
Oh, Ben gonna give him the ball, all right. Ben also gonna run when he go to pass Ben the ball and Ben wide open under the basket. Ben gonna pass it off. He gonna pass it off to this time he gonna pass it off to Seth under the basket, and Seth gonna dribble it off his bad ankle.
Anyway, I got the Nets in 6. I got the Nets in 6 over Boston. All right, we're gonna wind this thing back. We will be back right after the game. Make sure y'all join us live. We're gonna be on all our platforms.
Hey, wait, ho. Why you ain't want to talk about Pat Beverly and Minnesota and how they were celebrating like they won the finals?
Oh, that was funny. What y'all think? What y'all think about that, Pat? So
I think it was more about Pat get back against the Clippers
that's
than
what I
anything,
think.
and everybody else just fed off that energy.
And not only that, they said his mom, it'd be 2 years since his mom passed away, like today or tomorrow. So he was filled with emotion. So he just first time making to the playoffs like in 17 years, the whole city, they hyped. So it was a moment for them. A lot of people didn't have a problem with it, but a lot of people did, like Shaq and Barkley, they was like riding them hard. They was really on them yesterday.
Let me ask you, the first round, y'all see any upsets? I got an upset in the first round.
Who you got?
I want Atlanta's taking the Heat out.
Ooh.
Atlanta might not even be playing the Heat yet. They still got to beat the Cavs.
They're gonna beat the Cavs. They just beat what's name? They're gonna beat the Cavs. Cavs lost too many players. They don't got their big man.
We'll see.
They said Jared Allen might be back this week.
Listen, Trae Young is probably the most underrated.
So you don't think the young boy in the Cavs could go toe to toe with Trae?
He good too. Trae's better than him.
Y'all do know if they upset them, then we're playing Atlanta in the second round of playoffs because they don't receive the NBA. That's a revenge factor. You know what they did to us last year?
Oh,
yeah,
Allen
it's a revenge factor for us.
All right, if Allen come back, then that might change. I didn't know Allen was coming back.
Yeah, they say he may come back. That's gonna be interesting.
All
right. So, anything else, Wayne? You got? Who you got coming out the West? Who you got coming out the West?
I mean, I think you got to go Phoenix.
I don't know Memphis. I wouldn't sleep on Memphis.
I think Phoenix. I think Phoenix paid their due unless something happened like Chris Paul gets hurt in the playoffs like he has numerous times.
Which is likely.
Which could happen.
I think they win the chip this year.
You think so? If the Sixers don't win and Brooklyn don't win, I could go for the Suns.
I actually think Minnesota's going. I ain't saying they're going to win it, but I think Minnesota's team is a little underrated.
So I agree. They should have had a better record though, but I agree.
And but remember they was going through all kind of stuff down there. They was fine tuning some stuff and everything else. But I'm looking at them like as a
3-4 years.
Yeah, right, but in the second half of the season, they start. Remember when the Sixers beat them and everybody was like, "Oh, but they beat Minnesota." Minnesota was starting to beat teams. Minnesota was picking it up, and they won. They won last night with Cat fouling out and only scoring like 11 points, and they pulled that game off and won.
Struggled yesterday,
so I just think Minnesota might, but then again, I think they might be playing Memphis though. So if they playing Memphis,
they are playing Memphis.
Yeah, that might be.
That's what I'm saying. We might be looking at a repeat of last year's NBA Finals. Actually, if you think about it, it could be the Bucks, Phoenix.
Could be.
Yeah, but y'all, we appreciate. This was a last minute podcast we want to do with you guys. Just give us our take for the playoffs that's starting this weekend. So don't forget, right after the game, we're going right on. We're going to be
playoffs start now.
I know. If you're scared, get a dog. So I'm on my way to the pet store. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We out.
Nobody want to mess with the